What's up guys, Random Razor here with another auto video for you guys today, and today we're going to check out some LED lights from Xenon Depot. So of course, without further ado, let's ace this open, slap them on a car, and give you guys my quick in-depth review. So for those of you who bought a brand new car or have a used one or the one that you already own, are sporting some halogen lights and you want to really spice up the look of them, you can check out these brand new LED lights from Xenon Depot. So I picked up a set of LED headlights for the low beams as well as ones for the fog lights. So here are the fog lights. They don't come in too much fancy packaging, just a simple bag, and I hope it's just plug and play since it doesn't come with anything else. You can see what they look like here. Here's a closer look at the lights here. They are H11s, and you do want to get specific fog lights, as if you get anything brighter that could blind the oncoming traffic, so you don't want anything too dear. It is a metal construction, which is nice, so they're pretty durable and well-made bulbs. And this blue ring here is obviously the dust seal. So those are the fog lights. Now let's check out the headlights. So the headlights here do come in a bit more fancy packaging. We got your instruction manuals, the brand new LED headlights themselves, which you can see is pretty much entirely a metal construction, so they're very well made and durable. You also have these metal fins here, which help dissipate the heat. And of course you do get two of them, one for the left and right side. And next we have one more box here which contains our LED drivers to ensure your LED headlights do work and adapt properly with your car. And I do like how these drivers are significantly smaller than the ones for HIDs, so if you're tight on space, LEDs seem to be a good way to go. So we're going to demonstrate these LEDs in a brand new 2017 Toyota Highlander, which you can see here has halogen low beams, high beams, and fog lights. To install this, first thing they want to do, we'll flip my iPhone around, is remove the dust cover, which is right here. The right side's easier because you don't have the washer fluid thing here, but it's still somewhat easy to access more or less. So I'll turn it counterclockwise. It should just pop out like so. And taking a quick peek in here, let's see if I can turn on the light. Oh no, we can see it. But anyways, you can see why there's a dust cover on here. It's a pretty crappy spot for dust and stuff to get in because it's very difficult to clean out. So I do recommend putting the dust cover back on. Now Xenon Depot does recommend drilling a hole through this dust cap so you can keep the LED driver on the outside and use the included gasket that is attached to the wires to keep it still dust free. Now the reason you want to keep it on the outside is because the LED driver does dissipate a little bit of heat, so if you have a small headlight cavity, you may want to consider doing that. However, in my case, it seems to be a pretty big space in there, so I'm going to risk it and actually put it all in without having to drill a hole in the dust cover. Alright, so you can kind of see the stock light that's in there, if my camera can focus. And all you have to do is reach your fingers in there and twist it. Again, it's a very crappy space to do this because you don't really get a whole lot of leverage because all this stuff is in the way, especially this thing here. But it should just easily pop out if we just twist it right. There we go. Actually, that wasn't too bad. And it comes out. So kind of remember the position it came out so you can actually put it back in the right position. So here is the stock halogen light, which you can see is, I think it's made by Sylvania. What we're going to do now is actually remove the red gasket here and replace the blue one on the LED light. And the reason for that is this one is made for the car. Not entirely sure if this one is perfectly fit or not, so why risk it? We can use the original one. So just pop both of them off and switch them. Before we put this back in place, we do want to make sure the light is working and that this connector is in the right position. So grab this and connect it to your car. Next thing we're gonna do is fire up the headlights and see if I did it right. Turn this on. It's not on, so we're gonna disconnect this and try a different position. And this is what I meant by earlier, that this has 4 different positions. And the light does work. I found the right position, so we're ready to go. All right, so now we're gonna have to put the light back in. We're gonna turn it off momentarily. Basically, you just kind of have to feel your way back in. There's really no easier way to do this. Try and match the same position you took the halogen light out, which was something like this. You can see the top end right here was in something like this. It wasn't perfectly straight, it was on an angle. So we're gonna try and match that and hopefully it'll twist back into place. That's what the inside housing looks like. And that is your projector tube right there. So the next thing that we're gonna do is try to fan out these fins as best as possible. This is an alternative to using a fan. I'll just twist it back there. And yeah, should be interesting. Before I do that, I'm gonna stuff the LED drivers and all the wires in there so we can get that dust cover back in. Just grab all these wires, poke them in the housing. I know it's very hard to tell in the video, but there is actually a decent amount of room in there in my opinion. Alright, so you can see here, I got the fins spread out as best I could. The housing inside is large, but the position where the projector tube is, which is right on the top here, makes it quite a bit difficult to get as much surface area out of the fins as possible. So once you think you got everything in place, put the dust cap back on, and you're pretty much good to go. Alright, got the dust cover back into place. Let's test out the lights. And light number 2 is ready to go. I don't know why, but it looks green in the video, but it's closer to an actual white, similar to the daytime running lights. All that's left to do are the fogs. Alright, so now we're going to tackle the fog lights. It's a sunnier day today, and hopefully it'll go a little bit quicker. But anyways, first off, you want to clean this area, just to make sure it's free of dust and debris and all that stuff before you tackle it. And then there should be 1, 2, and 3 screws here for you to pop off. So this panel here can somehow you can stick your hand in there and reach for the fog lights. So we're going to take these nuts off, which I believe is a 10mm wrench is what you need. Now you can kind of see the fog light housing right under there, underneath the panel we just looked at. And hopefully we can stick our hand through this by pushing this thing up and getting access to it. So for the right side here, it's actually easier to reach your hand all the way down there. You can see the crackle light underneath there. To access the fog light without having to remove the panels on the right side. So I recommend just sticking your hand down there. Now if you forget how to remove the connector from the fog light, you can see the, just move my camera, the high beam's right here, same connector. You push this piece right here, you hear a click, and this part, the connector will just push down. So same idea with the fog lights there, a little bit more tedious since it's in a tight space, but it's easier to access it from up here next to the battery than it is from the bottom. Now for the fog lights, you do have to remove the connector first before you can twist the bulb out, because the connector actually gets in the way and snags on something, so you have to take the connector off first and then twist the bulb counterclockwise. And just like with the low beams, you do want to remove the gasket from the original halogen and replace the blue one here on the LED, just because this one here, it worked for the original bulb, which means you should probably keep this just in case the third-party one may not fit. So here's the halogen, here's the LED. Looks a little nicer. Headlights from yesterday are still working. This one works. We're good there. And we're good here. Excellent. Now we're done. So here's what the LED headlights look like late in the evening, and I have to say, they look pretty nice and something that this SUV should have had stock. Now we're going to take a quick look at a side-by-side comparison between the halogens at the top and the LEDs at the bottom. So first off, the difference in how far one light shoots over the other isn't too significant. The only thing I find with the LEDs is during this example, some of the trees in the background do appear to be more lit up than the ones with the halogens. The most noticeable improvement for me, however, is the light coverage. I find the LEDs do a better job at having a consistent overall brightness, not just for the road but also the edges and sides, whereas with the halogens they shine the road nicely but not so much for the edges. Because of this, since the light on the LEDs appear more evenly spread out, they are also a little bit easier on the eyes since you don't have one big bright spot like the halogens do. I also find that because the LEDs produce a whiter color, means that things seem to pop out a little bit more than the halogens. With halogens, the light is very warm, making everything blend in, so to speak. However, with the LEDs, with a rating at 5500K, which is the ones I have on my car, make everyday objects from trees to a rock on the road not necessarily make it more visible, but more noticeable to the naked eye. One last performance advantage with the LEDs is power consumption. The stock lights that came with my Toyota used 55 watts, where the LEDs use almost half that at 25 watts. That means, for example, my car has a feature where when you turn the engine off, the headlights usually stay on for a minute. With halogens, that's going to drain your battery. With LEDs, it will drain it, but not as badly as with the halogens did. Overall, functionality-wise, the LED headlights perform very well and do provide an advantage over halogens through more satisfying light coverage, visibility, and aesthetics. One of the obvious reasons why many people like to switch to LEDs or HIDs is the cosmetics. There's a reason why high-end brands like Lexus, BMW, Mercedes use LEDs and HIDs as a standard headlight, and that is because it gives the car a modern, premium, upscale look to it. With my Toyota Highlander as an example, although the brand itself isn't a luxury brand, adding the LEDs certainly give it a premium and upscale look to the front end, especially since the stock halogens clash very badly with the stock LED daytime running lights. With the new LED headlights, they match the stock daytime running lights and honestly are something that Toyota should have included with my car, especially since you can load this car well over $50,000 for a limited platinum hybrid model and it'll still come with halogen headlights. In terms of any cons or concerns I have with the lights, the only thing I could say is only time will tell whether or not stuffing that LED driver into the headlight housing will possibly affect the light or not. But of course, I'm pretty confident it's not. The halogen lights produce quite a bit more heat than LEDs, so it shouldn't be a problem considering it's a pretty big cavity in there, but I will update you guys if I do have any issues with doing that later in the future. In conclusion, I'm pretty happy with how these lights turned out. They provide better coverage than the stock halogens and really do spice up the look of my Toyota Highlander that I used to demonstrate these LEDs with. Anyways, thanks for watching guys, hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments about these LED lights from Xenon Depot, let me know in the comment section there down below. Hit that like button, as always helps me out, and I'll see you all in the next video.